unlock the left door and watch this. This is super cool. It will shut down my train and basically help stop my train just a little bit. Oh my God, stop. Hello everybody, welcome back to Train Sim World, where we are about to play the 2P12 Reading to London Paddington mission. This one happened to have a platinum AP score of 10,500. This apparently got some rain and some wetness, so we're gonna find out if this is actually accurate. All right, folks, it is raining. How exciting. We got a 3-car networker turbo, so let's go ahead and get into this and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to turn on our AWSs again. So the TPWSIS is going to go from unisolated to unisolated or normal. DSD is going to go from isolated to normal. The vigilance systems are already on. All of it, the ones up here on the top are already on. The only other one we need to turn on is our AWS fuse, which is right behind us. Turn that to on. From there, we can turn on the train lighting, which lights up the cab behind us or the cars behind us. We will probably want a little windscreen demister. We're going to want the cab light for the time being. We're going to want to turn the master key right here on the left. We're going to turn the reverser to forward. Press Q to get rid of that annoying sound. Because it's raining, it's probably going to need a little bit of heat, and we'll leave the low air. Window wipers are down here in this corner. Finally, I get to use them. We'll just max them out because it looks like it's a lightning storm out there. We have passengers already loaded up in the train. Perfect. So all we have to do is drive our train forward. Let's go ahead and put a throttle up to throttle 3 and finally head us out. It looks like our first stop is going to be Twyford over in 4.9 miles. Let's see what our itinerary looks like. Twyford's first, Maidenhead, Burnham, Slough, Langley, Iver, West Drayton, Hayes and Harlington, Ealing Broadway, and London Paddington is our destination list for today. I noticed we're stopping at Iver. I don't actually remember ever stopping at Iver. I remember doing some stuff with the free cam and everything at Iver, but this is going to be interesting taking a stop there. Folks, I always remember to call the dispatch, right? Make sure you could proceed as signals indicate. It's probably very important to tell your dispatcher that's what you want to do. Because we're a 3-car networker turbo, it probably won't take very much time to get us moving, at least in the context of going forward, but we do have to watch out for wheel slip because of the precipitation and the rain. My God, that was a big lightning bolt. But at the same time, when we stop and when we slow down, we probably want to give ourselves a little extra space to slow down. So there is a good chance I will be late in quite a few missions here, or at least quite a few stops. I will probably be late. We'll see. Folks, I've already done it. I forgot my headlights. So always make sure to turn on your headlights so other people can see where you're going. Apparently, it's not affecting my safety system to leave them on, ironically. So it is 6 in the morning, at least that's what the time looks like up there. So I'm going to take the advantage of putting this on night mode just because the time appears to almost look like 6 o'clock in the morning. Folks, while we're driving in this rainstorm, one of the areas I've not actually taken some time to talk about, I did spend a huge chunk of one episode talking about Paddington Station, and we went right in depth about Paddington, the Paddington area and whatnot. What it didn't do was talk about the other end, Reading Station, the one that we had just left. Reading Station is also a giant transport hub. It's very much like Paddington, maybe not to the same size or whatnot, but it's currently located in Berkshire, England. It's 36 miles west of London Paddington, maybe not by rail, but at least as the crow flies, you might say. Reading is considered the 8th busiest railway station in the UK outside of London itself, and it's the 2nd busiest interchange outside of London. For those of us like myself as an American coming into the train sim world, you really don't get to see beyond the track that you normally go on, so it really does help to take the extra deep dive into the research and kind of look into things about the city and the surrounding areas and whatnot. For me, I would just see this as, oh, okay, Reading happened to be a final stop, and then you continue on going somewhere else, maybe Didcot Parkway or something like that, right? But you don't really see it as anything else other than that. But Reading Station is actually managed by Network Rail, and it is served by 4 train operating companies. One of them, the Great Western Railway, which happened to be one we're driving on. Cross Country also serves at Reading Station. Southwestern Railway and the new Crossrail/Elizabeth line also stops at Reading Station. So it's a fairly good sized transport hub. So take a quick sidetrack here. I'm on the outside cam if you couldn't tell by now with all this fog. But the lightning should be doing the same thing in this game as it did in Sandpatch Grade, where if the lightning struck in front of me, I should be able to hear the thunder crashing in front, and if I do it right, I should also be able to hear the thunder slightly delayed. Let's hit that Q button first. There's the thunder. There's the thunder again. It does do it. That is amazing. Okay, you can definitely hear the delay. That's really cool. So the lightning bolt struck way out there. Who knows how far that was? And it hit the front of this cab, and I was supposedly super fast to be able to do it. We have to stop now, folks. We're about 900 yards out from my stop, so I gotta make a very quick, probably let's do throttle 3 and slow myself down much faster. Yikes, we're gonna hit and I'm paying attention to the lightning. I'm not even paying attention to where I'm going anymore. So let's go ahead and try to see if we can get our stop on target here at Twyford. Oh my God, we're gonna pass the station. Please don't pass the station. That's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and put emergency brake here. What I could do, by the way, as a really convenient thing, is unlock the left door and watch this. This is super cool. It will shut down my train and basically help stop my train just a little bit. Oh my God, stop. No. Oh my God, I missed it. I failed it. Stop train already, please. The door's still on the platform. I did it. That was amazing. No. What are you doing? Unlock the door. We're still here. No, unlock that door. Oh my God, unlock the door, please. There we go. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, we have nobody that's going to get off this train now because unfortunately nobody wants to get out this far out from the platform. So we're just going to go and load non-existent passengers. Let's see how bad my score was. 162 for that Twyford stop. Go me. But I domated had. Okay, folks, if you did this on Train Sim World and you accidentally go a little bit further and happen to be over here, you will actually fail the stop. And I tried this on a different game just for the heck of this. It was really interesting. So when you pass the station and you fail the stop, it will basically blank out that score for that one stop. You can continue playing, which is really interesting. I didn't expect that, but you won't get the point at least for the first stop. So let's go ahead and lock the left doors. When were we actually supposed to be here? 6:35 and 48 seconds. All right, we're like 3 minutes late, but that's all right. So let's go ahead and zoom ourselves forward here and get ourselves going to Maidenhead. We're going to go throttle 7. Let's see how bad the wheel slip is, if I happen to get any wheel slip. I'm not expecting to get anything, kind of a 3-car network or turbo. Well, that was an exciting first stop, folks. We actually stopped and we got something in our AP score. At least I got full score for the passengers. We'll see how bad that actually affects us later when we get to the other end. But for now, we're going to keep on going. As I was getting to the original topic here about Reading before I got distracted about lightning bolts and sound waves and completely ignored what I was doing on this road here, the very first Reading station opened 1840 of March and was considered the temporary western endpoint for the Great Western Railway. The time taken to travel from London to Reading was actually cut down to about an hour and 5 minutes. That's not bad. The fastest stagecoach at the time was actually about 3/4 the amount of time it would take to do that same distance. The line eventually got extended to its intended terminus at Bristol in 1841. As built, the Reading station was, again, a Brunel design station, a Brunel design track. Again, Brunel was the guy who set up the broad gauge tracks around here. Brunel set up the single-sided station, which meant that to get to the station, you have to go up one side and down the other, so everything was set up in a fairly orderly fashion. What made this really unique, which you won't see anymore here on the Great Western Express, at least in this downloadable content here, is when Brunel did this single-sided up and single-sided down, what it meant that any trains going to the upside and stopping at Reading had to cross over the route of all of the trains going on the downside, which meant you had something along the lines of a T kind of idea where a train had to merge to the opposite track like this in order to get to the other side of the track, which is a really unique way of doing that, and this is not something you see now with the multi-platform Reading station has today. 1844, something called the Great Western Hotel was opened for people visiting the town. That is considered the oldest surviving railway hotel in the world. In the world, not just in the UK, not just in England, but in the entire world. We got to slow down to 75. I'm just going to drop my throttle off and hope I'm going to coast my way there. The London-Bristol line, so I went originally from London to Reading, and then it went from London to Bristol. After it went from London to Bristol, then you ended up having new line going from Reading to Newbury and Hungerford. Both of those opened up in 1847, and the line to Basingstoke was opened up in 1848. Between 1865 and 1867, a station building was made of of something called buff bricks. I'm probably going to have to look up what the heck buff bricks are. But this came from Coalbrookdale. I wonder what they have there. Maybe some coal. The question still remained, was this considered a brand new building or a remodeling of one of the earlier Brunel-style buildings? In 1898, that single-sided station layout was eventually replaced by the conventional up-down and relief platforms set up by a pedestrian subway system. So by the time 1898, if anyone here still is old enough to remember that, which I doubt anyone's old enough to remember that, that is when the station design changed. The station itself was not direct access, at least until Queen Victoria Street was put in 1903. All right, folks, we are now outside of Maidenhead. We're going to do this right. We're going to go ahead and put throttle 1. Hopefully this time we won't need emergency brakes. This is about a mile out. This is what I probably should have done at Twyford, which I failed to do horribly. We're going to try to do the stop a whole lot better. We're already late, so there's not much we can do there. I don't know if there's a way to kind of, make up the difference or whatnot. But we're coming up pretty quick here, 800 yards, 50 miles an hour. We're going to have to see how we can make this work. I got myself down to train brake 3, and we're going to have to slow this down a little bit harder now just to make sure we stop in the proper place. By the way, what I didn't do in Twyford is I probably should have blown the horn, but I was already in the middle of a panic here, folks. I was in the middle of a panic because my train was not going slow enough, and I was just like, oh my god, my hands were in the air, what do I do? All right, here we are at Maidenhead. Let's see if we could do this stop a whole lot better than we did the last stop. That last stop was just terrible, folks. I'm sure there's going to be folks on this train that's going to want to get off this train and go somewhere else and try to catch another train back to their previous station, because nobody wanted to get off that station. And probably I shouldn't need to use throttle 4 for that, but let's go ahead and take a look outside. Anybody getting off this train? Anybody at all? Oh, there we go. Now the crowd. Oh my god. Now stop. Well, we have an interchange happening here between HST and me, who happen to be late. None of these people want to get on this train because they're all going wherever they want to go. In the meantime, we're very happy with where we are. Can I do this? No, it won't let me into the cars. That's too bad. Well, I know I can lock myself in there. I'm not going to do that to myself this time. That was pretty terrible the last time I did it. You, sir, you walking on the yellow line. You probably need to get... There we go. Bye-bye. Get off that line, buddy. Get off the line because the doors are closing. We're heading out. We're going to our next stop at Burnham. Everybody out of the way, folks. Everybody out of the way. You're still on the line. Get off the line, buddy. Get off the line. What are you doing? Get off the line. Come on. There's a train here. There we go. You're off the line finally. Dude, what's up with you? Folks, you're going to love this. So the original station name for Reading was called Reading. How original, right? And not just that. By 1949, they changed the name of Reading Station to Reading General Station. Again, how original. They did this because they wanted to distinguish it from the neighboring ex-Southeastern Railway Station, which happened to have something very similar, name sounding. The general suffix was eventually dropped from British Rail timetables by 1973. Some of you might remember this. If you happen to be kids around the time, you would notice the change in name there. However, some of the station name boards still have Reading General by 1974. The juxtaposition of those two stations meant the town buses had to show the destination as stations with an S at the end, folks. By 1965, the former Reading Southern Station were diverted into a newly constructed platform. This was considered platform 4A in the general station. All right, folks, so keep in mind that platform 4A was considered perfect for a 8-car train to fit on the platform. However, with that said, it actually got turned inadequate because it didn't quite meet the needs of an 8-car train. And so they created a second terminal platform, also known as 4B. How original, right? Serving the same line, and this opened eventually in 1975, and this line eventually was made possible for the ability to serve Reading to Gatwick Airport. Next up, we've got Burnham. We're going to be stopping pretty quick here, folks, so we're going to get ourselves down to throttle 1. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Let's see if we can kind of get this timed out. I bet you by the time I get to Paddington, my railroad will finally get this on track and sort of figure itself out. All right, I think I got this time. I'm doing throttle 1 this time. I'm going to try to see if I can coast it all the way down there to on throttle 1. It's going to start to scare me about the time when I get to, oh god, 200. I think I'm going to probably hit the throttle 2 by that point. I'm going to go ahead and use a little horn here just to let the folks know on the platform to watch out that we're coming through. This platform happened to be one of the very few that's on the right side. We're going to go ahead and train brake 2 on the right side of the platform, so that means we got to open the right doors. This one platform, it's really easy to accidentally forget that you have your doors open on the right side and you're trying to shut the left doors, or even if you're trying to open the left doors, like I did in that one mission a few missions back, folks. And with that, we're going to be coming up on this stop, and we should make this one, I think, a whole lot better than the last two. The first one was ridiculously bad. The second one was ridiculously slow. Oh, gosh, come on. Stop. There it goes. Perfect. Okay, unlock right door. I don't know why I keep going to emergency brake, but I just find myself doing that a lot. It just seems to work out pretty well. So this shed here, this guy is a really good example. Why am I not driving those aggregate cars when I do an aggregate mission? I keep using the red ones, but I never seem to use the gray one. What's up with that? All right, time to lock our doors and head ourselves out. We, again, are just locking the right doors this time. I'm remembering this here, folks. And we're going to be heading to Slough. By this point, usually we're late. It's obvious we're late already. We're supposed to be there at 6:53. And that's in like 2 minutes away. There's no way I'm going to get there any quicker than I am already doing. I'm going to try to go for throttle 7. This networker turbo doesn't seem to be slipping at all in the rain, at least when I'm trying to speed up and whatnot. So I think I'll be all right to do throttle 7. 1989, a redevelopment happened and a new station concourse was put in by Intercity. This included an entire shopping arcade named after Brunel, and this was open on the western end of the old Reading station, not the new Reading station, but the old Reading Southern Station site. Keep that in mind which station we're talking about here, because we're talking about 3 different stations. This arcade was linked to the main station via a new footbridge, and at the same time, a multi-level station car park was also built on the site of what used to be the Good Yard and the Single Works. A multi-level station car park was also built on the site of the former Good Yard and Single Works, which happened to be to the north of the station and also connected to the same footbridge. Queen Elizabeth II reopened the station in 1989. For anybody who happened to be young enough for that, you might have witnessed the commencement ceremony for the station reopening. What we're going to do with this is we're going to be coasting along about 1 mile at break 1, going all the way into Slough. That seemed to have worked out pretty well in the last mission. What we have to keep in mind is whether or not we've got a slight incline or a slight decline, which will probably affect how quickly we can stop. We could do that rush job stop that I did earlier, but I think this will be just fine. I think we'll be all right with this. I'm stopping pretty quick. This is unusual. I'm already at 30 miles an hour. Maybe it's because I wasn't going fast enough. I don't know. All right, folks, we're coming up on Slough. We're going to give a quick honk of the horn. Only reason I'm doing this is you really can't see anything with this dense fog, and it's kind of hard, so I just want people to know that, like, hey, I'm out there. Oh my god, I started throttling up. Oh my god, no. We're not throttling up, we're trying to stop. Stop. Oh my god, not again. Left side, please. Left side doors. Yay, that worked. I love how that worked, and it's a perfect stop. That was incredible. Okay, wait. Whoa. Train, why are you moving? The doors are open. Unlock doors. Oh, that's why. Wait, no, unlock the left. Oh my god, this is so dumb. Lock the right doors, unlock the left doors. What's going on here, people? Stop messing with me. There it goes. Our train's finally loading passengers. What in the world happened here? So apparently when I opened the doors too early, the train didn't think they were open. All right, folks, we're locking the left doors this time. We're going to try to get this right, and then we're going to go ahead and throttle up to throttle 7, and let's just get moving. Next station stop is Langley, so that's coming up in 2.1 miles, so it's only going to be about a mile driving before we have to stop again. By 2007, the station was considered a bottleneck. Reading Station had become a giant bottleneck on the railway network. Because of the bottleneck, passenger trains had to wait outside of the station for a platform to become available. Imagine that, driving one of these networker turbos or an HST and then going, well, shoot, we're going to have to wait here for about 20 to 30 minutes before a platform opens up. Can't do anything with that, right? Just not going to happen. The entire issue was caused by a limited number of through fare platforms. So trains that wanted to just go on through Reading, continue on to London Paddington, basically had to wait for the train in front of them to stop at Reading to basically pick people up and go wherever they wanted to go. So imagine if that happened today with the new Elizabeth line or Crossrail line. that if you wanted to go on the Crossrail line, just go straight through to your destination. You couldn't do that because another train was in your way. Part of the issue is you had flat junctions east and west of the station and a north-south train to have to reverse direction in the station itself. All of these little details created some time delays for the trains. The Great Metro Main Line at Reading had two pairs of tracks. One of them happened to be your main line or the fast line on the south half and the relief slow line on the northern half. So let's go ahead and slow down. I'm just going to kind of coast out here because I see Langley coming up pretty quick. Train transferring between the relief line and the line that run through Reading West to Taunton had to cross those main lines. Those trains, especially slow-moving freight trains, ended up blocking the path of all the express trains. And this gets back to what I was saying, where if I had a shed that was just sitting there trying to cross over from left to right or right to left or whatever direction it was going in, and then you had an HST that was supposed to go through, the HST had to slow down from 125 all the way to 0, and I'm using modern equivalents of what was happening back then, while the shed was basically going 50 miles an hour. You know, that's not a good thing to do. So much wait time, so much lost revenue, etc., etc. You know, despite the storm today, despite the fact I'm having terrible stops today, despite the fact that we're stopping at 500 yards here, and despite the fact that we're about like, you know, it's about to be 7 o'clock, I'm not that bad off, honestly, given that I'm only like about 2 minutes late to the station here. Why am I slowing down so much? Oh, it's because I have a grade. Oh, gosh. Okay, we're going to speed this up a little bit. We're going to get myself back up to 20. Welcome to Langley, folks. We're about to hit our stop, coming up in about 150 meters, 150 yards, whatnot. We should be stopping pretty easily. Is Langley the one where everybody falls off the staircase? I think it really is. This feels like this is the station where people, you know, take the crossover and then end up dropping down into the ground. We'll have to kind of play that by ear, right? But yeah, this station stop, I think we're going to get this stop nice and good on the dime because we've got this little uphill, which is going to help us. What we will have to worry about the closer we get to Paddington is the fact that we're probably going to have to stop quicker. And so we're probably going to want to make sure we, you know, pay attention to where we're going to Paddington because there may or may not be a train that might be in front of us. With us being this late, we probably don't have to worry about such things. All right, folks, I believe Iver is our next destination. It is, and it's about 1.5 miles off, so it's not too far off that down the road. So we're just going to have to kind of play this a little cautiously as we head over that way. With that said, let's go ahead and throw caution to the wind, and let's go ahead and talk a little bit about 2007. 2007, delivering a sustainable railway, was released by the government, and the government intended to improve rail flow traffic at Reading Station, is specifically mentioned with Birmingham New Street Station because of key congestion, key pinch points that were happening. This would cost about $600 million in investment to do this. 2008, Network Rail unveiled $400 million regeneration, reconfiguration of the station and the surrounding track to try to reduce delays. What this meant was you had 5 new platforms, 5 new through platforms on the northern side of the track, an extra bay platform for the Wokingham lines. My goodness, some of these words in the UK is just hard to say. A new footbridge was put in on the western side of the station, replacing the 1989 footbridge. You also had a new entrance on the southern side for ticket holders only. New street level entrance and ticket office was on the northern side of the station. The original subway line was converted into a pedestrian underpass between the two sides of the station with no access to the platform. Keep that in mind. The subway line was not having access at all. It was basically just an underpass for pedestrians to move over. They had a cow lane bridge under the tracks with a cycling path, a flyover to the west of the station for trains to allow fast trains to cross over the line to Reading West, replacing what used to be the flat junction where you just cross over the middle of everything. You also had a section of track beneath the flyover to provide a connection between Reading West and the relief line themselves. All of this redevelopment was actually designed to prep for the Crossrail and Heathrow air track services at Reading Station, which we all know has been put in by now. The entire cost of the project eventually went all the way up to £897 million, but it was actually completed a year earlier despite the cost that was associated with it. And the rebuilt station was reopened yet again by Queen Elizabeth II yet again in 2014. It's hard to believe that she dedicated 2 versions of the Reading station, but it is true she did so. By then, Network Rail took over management of the station from First Great Western in 2014. They actually took it over in April, and then Queen Elizabeth II had her dedication ceremony. Eventually, electrification happened on the Great Western Main Line through Reading Station, and this was completed in time for the electric train to finally start their service between Paddington and Didcot Parkway in 2018. Welcome to Iver, folks. It's time to emergency brake this one, unlock the left doors, and let's let everybody out. Okay, folks, we are now leaving Iver. We've got, I think, 4 more station stops to go, starting with our next station in 1.5 miles West Drayton. All of these station stops, I think, are going to get a little bit closer together, at least until we get to places like Hayes and Harlington. We'll kind of spread out a little bit. As of at least 2013, folks, the station has 15 platforms. 9 through platforms are considered 7 through 15. If you've never been to the UK like me, you probably would never know any of this stuff unless I'm telling you this or you looked it up. So the 7 through 15 is split into an eastern end and a western end, so they're numbered A and B, basically, to tell the difference. Platforms 7 through 11 are considered main fast line, whereas platform 12 to 15 are considered the relief and slow line. The relief line, platform 13 through 15, have access to that underpass for service to London, Waterloo, and Gatwick Airport. A couple years before 2013, between 1975 and 2013, Reading Station originally had 4 through platforms and 8 terminal platforms. So you can kind of see how much has changed in not very long of time between essentially a couple of decades. They've made these changes in order to essentially accommodate and make up for the Crossrail project that basically came into being pretty recently. You may not believe this, but when 2011 rolled around, they actually renumbered the platforms, basically because platform 4 got put in, and after platform 4 got put in, all of the higher numbers eventually got renumbered and changed. You ended up with the North Bay platform turning into platform 11, and all of the others basically moved up by a number. Let's see if we can make this stop happen. I'm a little bit distracted. I wonder why. What's causing me to be so distracted? Between the storm, between driving the train, between talking to you, between trying to read messages on my phone that's popping up that are kind of important that I probably have to get to after this. But otherwise, we are stopping perfectly good here at West Drayton. I think we're going to make this stop pretty reasonable. We're not going to do that emergency brake because I keep trying to go emergency brake with this. I don't know why. Let's get these passengers loaded up and see what we can do here, folks. Is it me, or does this train have way more passengers than I have to drop off people? That's just what it feels like. I don't know what's going on here. This one at least is pretty empty, so I guess a lot of people finally did get off. These are probably the ones that got off in that first station that just missed their stop because this door was not on the platform versus the bottom door, but I got really lucky with that. Don't want to do that at Paddington, folks, because it's the end of the line there. Next station stop is Hayes and Harlington. We're supposed to be there 2 minutes ago. We are already 2 minutes late. But otherwise, if you think about my AP score, I'm doing pretty well. I'm supposed to get 10,500. I am pretty much on track for that. I'm at 8,910. With this said, Hayes and Harlington, Ealing Broadway, London Paddington, with 3 stations, provided I don't miss one station. However, I think I might be able to get away with missing one station. I did this in another game, and I was still able to get a medal over the fact that I missed one station, which was like, what in the world, serious? When they actually reconstructed the Reading station and basically built a new building that we all know and love today that we left earlier in this mission, they took the time to recycle and refresh these components. So these components here were offered, these major components basically became either redundant or basically not needed at all. I see I've got a yellow light. What's up with the yellow light, folks? Am I changing tracks? I hope I'm not changing tracks. Network Rail ended up offering these components to museums and the railway preservation movement for zero, basically for no cost, but they were subject to the cost of delivery as a way to recompensate the rail for, delivering the part to them. But it was really cool that the museum basically got to get these parts completely for free, which is, you can't beat that sort of deal, right? And ironically, in 2011, the 17-meter former road bridges that were originally west of Reading Station were moved and delivered to Loughborough Central on the Great Central Railway for their bridging project, and it one day is going to be used in their bridging project. In 2014, one of the Imperial gallon water tanks, it was about 22,000 gallons. So this water tank was moved to Bishop Lyard on the West Somerset Railway. Welcome to Hayes and Harlington, folks, because I was not paying attention earlier and I was just a little bit distracted. I was like, 0.6 miles, I'm going to be crashing into this. And I didn't realize it wasn't in yards, so go me on that, not seeing that. But even still, now I'm like, oh my God, we're going to crash into this because we're at 300 yards out and I'm not really paying attention anyways. And is that a shed up there? I think that's a shed. Look at all this train spotting we're doing today. We got an HST there and what appears to be, oh, it's a networker turbo. I couldn't see anything in the fog. It looked more like a shed. Too bad. That would have been kind of cool to see 3 different trains here. This guy's going in the opposite direction. I am, oh God, it's 5 minutes late. So I'm sure the people that used to be on this train that want to be over here can get here now. But the folks that would have been over here to go on that train, this train's probably late because of me. It's probably going to leave anyways, so buy your other train, go on out. Let's see you go. This is actually a very long platform. Oh, this is the one, Hayes and Harlington. These are the ones where the people like fall onto my train. Let's see if we can kind of check that out while we're here stopped at our station. Let's go ahead and unlock the left doors. This was probably a terrible AP score, 156. That's not bad. When you play a Train Sim World game, it's probably guaranteed you'll never have this bug fixed ever in your life. But you know, this is what makes the game unique. This is what makes the game fun because you get to watch pedestrians climb the staircase and potentially fall on top of your train as you depart. Wouldn't that be exciting to shut down this train for the day? Time to lock our doors and time to head ourselves out to our next destination. Next destination is Ealing Broadway. After we get done with Ealing Broadway, I believe that is it, and we go to Paddington itself, and we can finally make a full stop. Well, what do you know? Another networker turbo pulled up. Good thing these people won't have long to wait. Their train is already here. We got about 500 AP before we hit our Platinum Meadow AP score, and that is coming up pretty quick. So we gotta make do with what we can at Ealing Broadway and London Paddington itself. I think we're going to be cresting over just a little bit despite our mistakes, so we should be okay for the most part. Most people may not realize this, but Reading Station was originally intended to be the western end terminus for the proposed Heathrow air track rail service. This project, which was promoted by the BAA, which I believe is the British Airlines, they envisioned the construction of a spur from Waterloo to Reading to Heathrow Airport. The idea behind this was to create direct rail links from the airport to Reading, to London, Waterloo, Woking, and Guildford. The air track was cancelled by the BAA in 2011, so it never got off the ground, unfortunately. But by October of 2011, the Wandsworth Council announced a revised plan, believe it or not, the original name of Air Track Light. More recently, though, the government has been committed to the construction of a rail route from Heathrow Terminal 5 to the Great Western Main Line between Iver and Langley. We've already passed those 2 points, so you probably already know that doesn't exist in this game because this game here, I think, was put together 2015. That's the time period that we're looking at in this game, so that's why the things like the overhead wires don't actually work in this particular section. The idea behind the government doing this, the UK government, folks, for doing this is to provide a direct route from Heathrow to the west. The Great Western Railway was going to plan to run this route when it's going to be completed in 2027. So if you happen to be watching in 2027, either this route is completed, canceled, or delayed. One of the 3 options there. Pick your pick, and you'll know exactly what's happened with the air track light system. Oh my God, we gotta slow down, folks. Okay, we got somebody up ahead that's like not making life easy for me, so we're gonna go ahead and get myself slowed down a bit here, folks. In 2027, if this route does get complete, it's going to be connecting up with the Elizabeth Line, also known as Crossrail, and replacing the Heathrow Express. Yes, I hear you, buzzer. Keep in mind, the AWS is meant to tell you to slow your train down, but a lot of times people don't do that. And I'm going to have to probably put this on full service because we're going a little bit too fast here for that red light up ahead. And I don't want to slam into the red light here. Come on, slow down, train. Let's go. We got a red light up ahead. I don't need to screw my mission 500 yards out. Come on, slow down. There we go. We're getting slower. Okay, good. This is much better. We're going to kind of coast at 18 and we're going to have to see what we can do here. Whatever reason, I guess us being late has caused us to have a red light here for some reason. Wonder what it's for. In this fog, it's really hard to see that red light. Thank goodness you have AWS to help you along here, because if you didn't have AWS, you probably would blow through the sign, probably like I'm going to do as I get distracted here. You'll blow through the sign, and it'll be pretty bad to have to do that, you know what I mean? The AWS is meant to tell you, like, hey, slow your train down, stop before you pass this single danger. American Freight doesn't seem to have that ability to do the same thing. American Freight, really, you kind of hope for the best. You see a yellow light, it doesn't really tell you how far in advance the red light is. You see a yellow light up ahead, you might be turning and going into somewhere else. It's going to be an instant red light. You know, it's just so hard. Where at least on the UK, it's very location based. The fact that we had one yellow light up ahead early on, and then we had a second yellow light, basically warned us to, like, hey, pay attention, slow your train down, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, try to stop before you know, cause a ruckus or cause a problem. I'm going to try to stop by that. Oh, there we go. We got it. Wait, no. I thought I saw it turn yellow. So the raindrop landed on it. It changed the color for me in my eyeballs. One of the advantages of this red light, if you want to make sure you don't accidentally roll over this track, you turn on the DRA, which helps you to check the signal up ahead. So that way, ideally, you put this on 0, you put it on 1, whatever, you accidentally bump the throttle, whatever. You don't have the issue of your train, you know, zooming along, and this should, in theory, protect you from that red light. We're going to call the singular just tonight, wait for single to change. So we're going to have to hang out here for a few minutes. Folks, there is a networker turbo ahead of me that's stuck at a red light. That's messed up. I think they're actually at the station itself. Let's go ahead and go to camera 8, and let's see if we can kind of explore what's going on with that. Oh, I'm rolling. Oh my God, I didn't realize I'm rolling. Okay, let's put the brake on. Despite the DRA, you're still gonna roll if you have a downhill, folks. We have a major problem here, folks. There is nobody in the cab in this train to drive this train forward. What the heck? How are we supposed to go if this train can't go because this train is stuck here, man? This is bad. I think my mission had just been screwed over by this networker turbo. Oh, there we go. We got a driver. Everybody, we got a driver. Everything good. It looks like there was a new driver changed. Everything is okay. My game's not screwed up yet. We can get moving. Let's get back to my own train. He actually looked like me because, if you look on the outside, he literally looked like me, but not in the suit that I have here. We should be able to get that green light as soon as that networker turbo passes its own red light that it had. And there we go. We got a yellow light. We're up ahead. Let's get ourselves moving. We can't go because we have our DRA on. Thank goodness for the DRA to make sure we don't move. So with that said, we're probably going to be hung up because of that networker turbo up ahead. They're probably going to stop at Ealing Broadway as well, which is about a mile off. So that means I'm not going to be able to go too terribly fast. I'm probably going to have to stop again some point up ahead. If I'm lucky, I get to stop at Ealing Broadway. If I'm extremely lucky, they don't stop at Ealing Broadway at all, and they can just keep going. Folks, I'm kind of hoping for the best. It looks like the light changed. There it goes. We got it. We got really lucky. That was awesome. I didn't have to slow down completely. I was able to kind of coast at 7 miles an hour. I believe that station up ahead is Ealing Broadway, and the light is red up ahead after that, so we don't have to worry about that because the networker turbo after me, it's going hopefully to London Paddington and not making any more stops. It looks like they had to do a driver change in the last station, and so that means we would have been hung up one way or another because of that guy. Had I not been late, I wonder if I would have missed that altogether. It's so hard to tell, you know what I mean? All right, folks, welcome to Ealing Broadway and our slow drive over that away. Folks, it's raining and I am like 10 minutes late. We're going to blame it on the weather. That's how this is going to go. None of it's my fault. Despite what you saw in this entire mission, none of it's my fault. It's all the weather, right? That's how we do it, right? With a big wink in my eye. I wonder if they know there's plants growing here. This is actually kind of funny. I saw this out the window. I was like, wait, is that real? And then it turned out it really was. There's actually a tree growing in the ground. I wonder if that's actually real in real life, to where they do have plants like this growing on the side of the rail line. That's just so strange, man. I think I just saw that. Look at that. This person coming in, they're blinking out. Okay, they're blinking out. Somebody just literally like fell right out. Let's see if this guy does it. Nope, they all sat down. What in the world? That's so strange. Some people just literally walked out the other door and fell off the track. Well, we're heading out of Ealing Broadway. Our next stop is finally our final destination, London Paddington, in 5.3 miles. That will be coming up. We have to remember with London Paddington, we're not going to be able to go too terribly fast. We're going to have to mind our AWSs. We're going to have to mind the fact that there's at least one networker turbo ahead of us. There's going to be also some speed limit changes, so we're not going to be able to go 90. We're probably probably going to be 20 minutes late getting to London Paddington. We were supposed to be there, 6 minutes ago. I think the folks at the other end will be okay because this network or turbo hopefully will not have to go anywhere else anytime soon. All right, folks, it's telling me to slow down because we have that network or turbo up ahead, but we just have to kind of maintain a rough speed, maybe 50 miles an hour. Maybe we can get away with 60, but I doubt we're going to get to 90 going all the way to London Paddington because we got that network or turbo up ahead that we got to pace. This is probably going to be the fastest we can go, 60, because we got that red light up ahead from the network or turbo that's also stopping in Paddington. We got a 50 zone coming up anyway, so we're going to have to slow our train down anyhow. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay off the throttle and just kind of coast this for, maybe half a mile or so and see what we can do. I'm kind of hoping the lights will change as that network or turbo. There it goes. I saw the green light there. The light is changing, so that's good news. So we just have to kind of coast this along as best we can, kind of making our way down to the 50 zone. Yeah, folks, so the scary thing about London Paddington here is the fact that you have all these AWS warnings. You have places where the light's going to turn red on you. You've got rain. You've got multiple platforms. You don't always know what platform you're going in on, at least not unless you've driven this route multiple times before. So you kind of got some stresses that you've got to keep in mind and just have your finger on the Q button and just kind of watch yourself as you roll into London Paddington over the next 2 miles. So it's really hard sometimes to get, take your eyes off the road a little bit because you could easily screw your mission up real easily. As you can see, I've already got that red light up ahead, not even a mile out. So I'm going to have to kind of slow this down to maybe 40 and maybe even go down to 30 and hope for the best here because the network or turbo is not quite out of the signaling block. Now, when you see that 40 mile an hour zone towards the end, usually that means you probably will be transitioning tracks and changing over from the track you're on to the track that you want to be on eventually. And we have a red light right at that 40 zone. So that is even more scarier than anything else. My goodness. So it's not going to matter really if we go 40 or not, but just kind of know that's the point you're going to be transitioning. If we're lucky, that's the point where the network or turbo also is transitioning too. So that means he's going to be blocking our way at least until he gets off of our platform of choice, unless he's going to the same platform we are going in. And I don't know exactly how that's going to work out for us. This is where I think sometimes Train Sim World could benefit from like a little corner HUD map. It would be kind of cool because then I can at least see what part of the route I'm on, especially if it shows like a little outline of the entire route. Maybe towards the bottom or something of the screen, it would be nice to have a little route map. So that way then, I could see, okay, I'm almost at Paddington. I've got blah, blah, blah coming up. And you could do the same thing like the distance monitor there, but more of the where am I going kind of idea. Next up, we got that 25 zone coming up. It looks like we're going to be going on the outside left of the track unless we change tracks when we hit the 25 zone. We'll have to kind of play that by ear. If that's the case, we may actually be stopping in that one area where the platform comes to a complete stop. I'm going to play it a little bit safe here as we arrive at Paddington because our stop's about 700 yards out as well, and the 25 zone's only 400 yards out. That means we're going to be stopping even more quicker, so I'm going to kind of let my speed just drop itself down a little bit. It's trying to speed me up, but I want to slow down a little bit. I'm probably going to go down to 20. I think that's going to be a safe answer for my stop at the end. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be taking platform 14 because that's the direction this goes towards platform 14. So I'm going to have to slow this down even more. This is probably going to be either a dead stop platform or it's going to be a platform that actually goes out somewhere. No, this may actually be a full platform. I think the one over there is the one where it goes to a dead stop platform. So yikes. 134 yards for the red light, 100 yards or so for me to stop. I think we've got this made. Oh, no. This is the dead stop platform. Yes. I believe this is the one that goes to a complete stop. We won't know until the rain stops because it's in my eyeballs here, man. All right, we gotta slam the brakes here. We're near. we gotta slow down. There we go. It's much better. 3 miles an hour. I think I can take that. Let's just go ahead and go 3 miles an hour. Yeah, this is the one where it just comes right to the end. Okay, I was in the right place. All right, folks, we finally arrived at London Paddington. The rain is finally over. I refuse to turn off the window wipers until I make my complete stop because it's scaring me otherwise. And this will be a good time to make a full stop. Let's go ahead and unlock the right doors. We'll go ahead and turn off the window wipers. I think that will be the first thing we'll do. Second thing, to not screw up anything else, we'll turn off the DRA here, folks. We have to leave the reverser on, unfortunately, because we have to, lock the doors and everything. So we can't turn the reverser handle completely off. We could put it on neutral, but that wouldn't be a wise thing to do. Let's just go ahead and put our brakes to 3 just to play it safe there. everybody off my train. And I think, as usual, you know, folks, if you've been enjoying this, definitely like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I hope you're enjoying the trip. I know I am, because this is so much fun to drive these networker turbos and the HSTs. Why am I all the way outside the building? I want to be outside the building. What? There's a road up here? When did really? There's actually a road with... That seems like a very illegal parking space to park your car like that. Well, like I was about to say, you know, like, subscribe, leave me comments, etc. I can't get out of this. I'm like stuck up here. I think I found a way to explore the city. This is actually kind of cool. How cool is this? We're going to go exploring, folks. We're going to go see what kind of fun assets are out here. I didn't realize I could actually do this in London Paddington itself. This is a very nice church. Let's go ahead and lock the doors, and we're going to go ahead... Wait, unlock left. No. Lock both doors, folks. We're just going to lock the doors as we, you know, fade out into the mist and see our final score, folks. Final score. We did pretty darn well. I got to give you a lot of credit. My AP score is 13,576. No speeding. That is insane. No speeding throughout this entire mission. I almost missed a platform. I undercut another platform, and all the rest of them were just like distracted messes. But this is impressive for this mission. I am very happy with this. So as usual, definitely like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we will catch you for the next one, which happens to be an aggregate mission. Let's get into it, folks. Bye, guys. Let's go ahead and get started and hop into this train. Look at them. They're already taking off of my train. What the heck, man? Well, I am here. Let's see what we can actually do. It says we're not in service, but I'm just super curious how much we can get away with it on this train. Down here happens to be the control key. Control key is in.